Welcome back. Bit of a carpentry video, this one, or kind of like beginning phases of the carpentry series, on a extension, reno, garage build kind of thing. So I've got a stump inspection tomorrow for the extension. I'm going to try and get the garage slab done as well, but the extension's my main focus, so I thought I'd run through drilling the stumps and marking them out. Marking them out's the hard part. Drilling stumps is really easy. We've got the excavator here, so that'll be like a 30-second clip at the end of this video. But what I wanted to do was actually share the process on working out where your stumps go. So I'll do a screen share with my iPad and you can have a look at it. Alright, I think I'm screen recording. So I've just got my iPad here in front of me, so that's what I'll be leaning into. Your engineer will tell you how often to put your stumps. So it's got piers here, ignore that, I'm not doing brick piers. It's going on concrete stumps, and there's a separate schedule for that, which isn't really relevant because it just says use 100 by 100 stump, and it shows me the depth of the hole that it wants, and the detail. Maybe I'll show that later. Anyway, first thing I look at is what way I want things to run. So I'll use a different color to show my bearers, but I'm gonna run bearers this way, and then I'm gonna run joists this way, and that means my yellow tongue flooring, let's use yellow, is gonna go like that, which means it's just the longest length. It doesn't overly matter. Part of the reason I'm going bearers this way is because, as you'll see here, it's got beneath load bearing walls. It's got beneath load bearing walls. So by having the bearer run along the sides of the building, it means I don't have to block out all through here because it's just going to be solid blocked. This end is non-load bearing because it's a skillion roof. Just for reference, a skillion roof is, so that's my wall, that's my other wall, it's got to be taller. A skillion roof just runs like that. So that means the ends aren't load bearing, just these side walls. Back to bearers. So for bearers, we've got max span beneath load bearing walls. So the span is how far, if that's a stump and that's a stump, the bearer can span that way. So this distance here, fucking iPad. This distance here is called your span. So I've got 1100 for load bearing walls and 1400 for non-load bearing walls. So along this side, where are we, back to blue? Along this side here we're load bearing, so we're going to have every 1100. It's going to be a stump and obviously one on the end, and then it's going to be the same down here. We're going to have every 1100. I think from memory there was 5, but how many there are for this illustration doesn't matter. I'm just showing you. When I mark it out with the tape measure, then I'll actually figure out how many they are. And even spacings don't really matter either. For the next part, so that's our load bearing walls done. I suggest doing those first. For the joist is the next part that we need to figure out. So maximum span 1400, because you got to remember this joist spans, as we've drawn it at the minute, it spans the full width of the building. So we need to add another, what's that, 14, I think 2 rows of bearers. Again, haven't done the maths. I'm gonna have another row of bearers there, another row of bearers there. So that means this span here, from there to there, is less than 1.4, which is what our joist can span, the 9045 KD. This internal line of bearers is non-load bearing, so we can do these on 1400. So obviously you still have one on the end. That's for a multitude of reasons. Mostly not having an overhang. You don't want to cantilever your subfloor unless that's how it's designed. And then these will, fuck you. Then these will be every 1400, so a couple less through the middle. On the end here, pink, across here, I'll probably triple grip the bearers or joist hanger them into the existing building. I've got the bearer exposed. So that's stumps. So you pretty much find your perimeters, mark them out with the string line, then come back through and just measure out how often your stumps go, mark the edge of your building, and start drilling. Hope that part was helpful. It's a little messy, and once you start to work through it, it makes more sense, but that's the gist of it. For the sake of this video, I have already marked the edges. So this is all getting torn down and we're putting new boards up there. This is out where the extension's going. That's got a retaining wall coming around the front. And then that'll be a separate house, which we might do a video on eventually. Sofa set out, because I got the Stabila layout station. All I did was offset it against the existing. I had a measurement in from the end of the wall on the plans. Just offset the layout station 100mm, and it just shot a line square out there for me. And then obviously once you've got a line out there, you just measure back off that. Stumps you do get a fair bit of play with, at least the stump holes anyway. Your stump hole's 450, your stumps 100mm. So it's, if you're close, it's okay, you'll get it, but you want to try drill them straight too. So I'll get this string line up and then we'll come through and mark 1400. Might have to switch to fucking mouth mount to do this, and then I'll do a voiceover, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold a tape, drop rocks and fucking spray paint. Might be a little bit too much for my mind. Something to hook the tape to. What do we got? 11. Okay. 22. 3.3. Okay, yeah. And then that mark there is the end of the building. So that one, I'm gonna have to put one in the middle. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, somewhere I'm gonna have to have them super close. So for getting the downwards line, I just grab a pebble, hold it under the string line. Unless it's super windy, you'll get it pretty bang on. Okay, and then to mark out the internal, I've already got a mark here, but we said before the joist could span 1400, I think. So I must have gone, yeah, I have. So I marked the joist to be centered. So we have 5760 was our overall. 760. Do that there. And then these ones can go 1400. So go 1.4. 1.4. 1.4 is 2.8. And hopefully that's under. Fucking prick. So because I'm gonna sit and drill from the top, I'll probably get that first row and then work my way back up the hill. Because otherwise all my marks are going to get covered in dirt. But that's essentially marking stumps. So measure off your building, mark that first. You can evenly space it. I'm just being a bit lazy. Yeah, it just doesn't matter because you get plinth board over the front of it. And yeah, anyway, so I got to grab the auger, grab the machine, track in here, and start drilling some of these. That ducted unit gets moved as well. That's going to go in under the house. So my main concern is I cut a bit of a drain in out here yesterday. So I might drop some Aggie pipe into that and then run it down the side. Because I'm fighting the weather so much here, I really need to do what I can to stop my stumps filling with water. Number one, to stop them caving in. And number two, I've got the inspection tomorrow, and the inspector needs to be able to see the bottom of the hole. He needs to be able to verify that I'm going into clay, as the soil report requires. So that's my dilemma. If I was doing this in summer, it'd be a fucking great job. But just not everything can wait till summer, so you just got to grin and bear it sometimes. Problem I've got, and this isn't specific to me, this is, if you build on stumps you'll experience this as well, especially in winter, because it's just the uncertainty. The problem I've got is if it rains tonight and I don't pass stump hole inspection tomorrow, then if I have concrete booked, it costs me money to cancel, and it's a fuck around, because for this job as well I'm going to have to get a pump in. The alternative is that I don't book the pump and the concrete, and then I pass inspection because it doesn't rain, and then my holes are clean, I'm ready to go, but I've got no concrete to put in them. So as the day progresses, that's something I'll be pondering as well. But yeah, so this might look last minute because it's Sunday Arvo inspection tomorrow morning, but there's somewhat method to the madness of just trying to have the holes exposed for a minimal amount of time. So I got them straightened back out. I'm definitely going to have to come back through with a hand post hole cleaner and get the last of the shit out, unless there's an attachment I can get for that, which may be better. It's just not picking up the last of the shit. But they are actually in good material. Like, I'm hitting a really nice colour of clay. I just can't get the blasted the shit out, but that's not terrible. We can live with that. So as long as they stay dry, I'll clean them out before the inspector comes tomorrow, and we should be okay. So we'll see what else I do with this video, because it's really not that much more to it. You just fucking set up and drill the holes once they're all marked out. So I was doing this again, and I still probably will end up doing it. I'll set up a hurdle across here, but that might be in a like a setting stumps kind of video. But yeah, I think that'll do for this one. I'm pretty much gonna, I can't have music on in my YouTube videos, which shits me, because I really enjoy listening to music while I work. So I can't have it because it gets copyright struck on YouTube. So I'll probably turn the camera off now and just kind of dig in and focus a bit. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. I think the first portion of the video, especially digging holes with an excavator, isn't really anything special. If you are a builder or an owner builder, it's not a terrible way to save some money. Like, that's a 3.5 machine. I'd probably hire a 3.5 to a 5 ton to do a job like this. You could get away with a little 1.7 or something like that. But I've noticed that the bigger the machine, the easier the inspector passes the holes. If you have, say, a 10 and a 3 ton machine, for example, like this, next to your holes, your inspector won't, he will assume you've used the right equipment. If you have a little post hole digger or a dingo or something like that sitting next to your stump holes, it seems like they take more care with checking that you are actually at the required bearing capacity in the bottom of the hole. It shouldn't really make a difference, but you know, like, think about it. If you've used a bigger machine, you've probably gone deeper because it's really zero effort to do it. So I try and use the biggest machine that I can for stump holes for that reason, and it's easier for me. Anyway, so that'll be it for this video. We might do one for a separate one for the garage slab. Well, we will do that, I guess. I'm not sure how that's going to work with weather. I'm going to try and get it done today though, so you might get 2 videos from today. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Have a good day. So that's me stumps done. I'm gonna have to get a post hole cleaner. I think I will go and get the one for that, because I've still got retaining walls around here to do. I'll use it quite a bit for the $800 or something it's going to cost. And then I might have to go to Bunnings and get one of those little Azedo pumps. Just some of the holes. This ground's really weird. It's like you hit little pockets and they just fucking fill with water. So that, and then for tonight, because we are expecting a light shower, I got some black plastic, so I'm going to roll that out across the top along here. Sprinkle some dirt on it. I'm going to move that out the way so any water landing in the holes will just hopefully run off. So I'll jump in the 9 quickly, pull that dirt back, and then throw some plastic out here. We'll jump in that excavator. might throw a little bit of dirt over the bottom of this just to make sure wind doesn't catch us out. But that's essentially it. Till tomorrow morning. Come back through and run the post hole cleaner over it. I think that should help. I'll seal this off pretty good.